I am James Monzello, the CFO at Greenwall Tech, and I use Workyard for keeping time and staying compliant. Well, so we're in California, and the California standard with wage and hour compliance is 100% in terms of of how time is recorded, tracked, what's presented. It's so, California is so strict. We needed a time solution that could address that in the construction environment. Construction is a little bit difficult. The kind of culture of construction is the guys are like, pay me my 8 hours. And that's kind of as much responsibility as they are inclined to want to put forth themselves. And that's not California. We had actually gone there was some transitional things between paper and Workyard. There were other solutions. One of them was a different kind of phone clocking solution that we tried probably 5 or 6 years ago, before we had gotten into our current accounting software setup. And it was fine, but not great. It was okay, but not great. Didn't do everything that you would want it to do. And then the gap being how to get the time into the accounting software, right? Because a lot of guys. There are times that when our highs, we've had over 200 guys, in the field. So like it's a lot of data to manage and to get from there to payroll. So we did our current accounting software solution. It did have a mobile timekeeping solution, but it was more or less the same. It was just an electronic version of the team leads and the foreman reporting time for a crew, and kind of still subject to the weaknesses that you can imagine, particularly from a compliance standpoint, from California's perspective of wanting each employee to clock themselves in and out and to be able to certify their own time. So that was a weakness that was there. And there were a few other just kind of technical limitations on that solution as well. And that was what we had right before coming over to Workyard. California wants it down to the minute, right? It wants an exact clock in, it wants an exact clock out. So we needed a solution that would be easy enough for guys that want almost zero administrative responsibility whatsoever, for them to be able to work to meet those kinds of standards. And Workyard was that kind of solution. It's very easy for guys that don't want something complicated to clock in, hit their job, hit their cost code, and then just get to work. With Workyard, we've seen them continue to develop and refine and meet the needs that we have. One example of that for right now is the time attestation feature, where all the time cards are able to be certified by the employees. Prior to that, we were spending a lot of money with DocuSign to get our attestations. And compliance has to be number one, because the liability there is it can break your business. If you come out the wrong end of a class action wage and hour suit, you could be done. Particularly at our size, where we're big enough to get in trouble, but not big enough that it's not an existential threat to the company to come out the wrong end of one of those. But we really need ease of use at the same time. It's that compliance has to be, but in terms of like success of it is kind of measured in how quickly people were able to adapt and use it. And I felt like that came along reasonably quickly. At our company, we have tried a handful of solutions, and we know that that's not every solution out there. But of all the solutions we've been exposed to, Workyard is the best solution. It's a good value for the money, and if you have some little, let's call it like a pet interest that you would want to get out of Workyard, most likely they're going to be willing to work with you to see how they can get it for you.